But the best fi yọ sí. Ṣé mo right àbí mo parọ́? Rice ẹ fi yọ sí. Ẹran ọyọ kan tẹ́ fi sórí ẹ ṣe kí ni? Plantain tó wà ńbẹ̀. Indomie. Kí ló tún wà? Pọ̀nmọ́. Ẹ̀wà. That means from a plate of rice, we have source of salt from 5. A plate of food you are serving me, I have rice, I have beans, I have plantain, I have meat, I have fish, I have indomie. Meaning that there's a trace of salt on each thing on that food. Meaning that indirectly, if I'm taking a plate of that food in the morning, I'm taking it in the afternoon, I'm taking it in the night. Meaning that in a day, I've consumed how many salts? More than 3-4 times of salt. And is this salt that increase what we call high blood pressure? Ó dàbí omi òkun àti omi ọ̀sà. Èwo ló máa ń rú nu méjì? Omi òkun ni. Now, kí ló jẹ́ kó omi òkun máa rú? Iyọ̀ tó wà níbẹ̀. Òun ni Yorùbá fi pè ní ẹ̀jẹ̀ ríru. Táwọn ìjọba fẹ́ sọ pé omi rúru odò tó ṣe kí ni tó ń ru, ó máa jẹ́ omi òkun. That means because of the salty, you can say that omi òkun ó wà highly salty. That's why the pressure of what is making it to move, the waves, those waves from the okun yẹn, iyọ̀ tó wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn, ló ń gbé waves yẹn, ló ń gbé. That means àwa náà táwa ń consume iyọ̀. That means tó bá dé age kan, ara wa ò ní lè lo iyọ̀ yẹn mọ́. Àwa di pé iyọ̀ ara wa ló máa control pressure ara wa. Ó máa dàbí àwọn ọkùnrin tó máa lọ pé mọ́tò wọn ṣe overheating. Ṣé mọ́tò jẹ́ pé ó ṣe overheating tẹ́lẹ̀? Mọ́tò wọn padà ṣe kí ni? Ó wá ń ṣe overheating. But mọ́tò tó ń ṣe overheating kò ní problem. Tọ́nà bá free, but tí mọ́tò yẹn bá wà nínú traffic, ìgbà ló máa ń mọ ìtumọ̀ overheating, because by the time the car stops in the traffic for the next 30 minutes or 1 hour, it's possible that car will do what? Ó máa knock ni. Òun ló ń fa ẹ̀jẹ̀ ìrírí ló máa ní pé ẹlòmíì ní heart attack, heart failure, ẹlòmíì ní stroke. Òun ló fa mọ́tò tẹ̀gbé sí express tó ṣe overheating tó wà nínú traffic. Ni pé tí temperature mọ́tò yẹn bá ti lọ sókè, tí driver yẹn bá yẹ ti paná mọ́tò yẹn, engine mọ́tò yẹn máa ṣe kí ni? Ó máa knock. Omi àti oil àṣẹ kí ni? Á mix papọ̀, and that engine is what? Condemned. But luckily ara òun ṣe mọ́tò ẹni tó bá lówó á tún lọ ra engine mọ́tò mi sí mọ́tò ẹ̀. But ara tí àti ẹ̀ bá ti lè ṣe kí ni bá ti lè drop. That's the end of life. That's why it's very, very key and very important for us to understand what are nature of life and diet of life. Sometimes it's always very shameful to me. There are some deaths that you need to question why this person just slump and die. There are some deaths you need to question. Ọlọ́run nìkan ni ó mọ gbogbo nǹkan. But àwọn ikú kan wà débi pé ó wà preventable. Ó dàbí ọmọ tó ní malaria tara ẹ̀ ń gbóná lóru tó wọ́n gbé lọ sí hospital. Tọmọ yẹn wá ń convulse. Tọ́ máa ń fi olive oil lá lórí. Ọmọ yẹn ń convulse. Convulsion is happening. A child that has a very high temperature over the night and is now convulsing, and the mother and the father now started praying and putting oil on that child, and the convulsing now continue for 24 hours. Now, if at the end of the day the baby now died, who is the cause of that death? The parents. Because God has already made everything to be available for us. There are time to sleep, there are time to eat, there are time to marry, there are time to take water, there are time to understand life. But by the time you are now taking afternoon to be morning, morning to be night, night to be morning, that means it's possible there will be complications. That's why in every step of illness, early detection of any sickness, àìsàn téèyàn bá yẹ tè mọ̀ ó ní solution. I can bet it today. Àìsàn téèyàn bá yẹ tè mọ̀ pé nǹkan báyìí ló ń ṣe mí o, ó dé bọ́ ẹnu, ó dé tè sáré sí. There is always a solution to it. When we talk about cancer doesn't have cure. Cancer doesn't have cure when you have a stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. It doesn't have cure. But when you have a cancer that is stage 1 and early detected of cancer, nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé àwọn àmì báyìí ń sìn, a dẹ̀ rí pé omi fẹ́ máa wọ inú church láti bí, kí la máa ṣe síbí báyìí? A máa block ẹ̀. But by the time we don't block this entrance, what continues? The water comes coming in, the water takes off almost all the half of the church. But by the time you detect that the water is coming from here, or the roof is leaking from one side, if you don't block the leaking place, it takes over the whole building. But by the time you block the leaking place, you find out that there will be blockage, there will be stop to that. Meaning that what we understand about cancer is all about unexpected growth of anything. Nǹkan òjijì tó kàn dédé máa ṣe kí ni, ó kàn dédé máa wù. Ó dàbí àlejò tẹ́ ẹ̀ invite sílé yín, ó kàn wá sílé yín. The best thing ni pé àlejò padà síbi tí ó ti ń bọ̀. That is the solution of cancer. That is the solution to cancer. But the problem about our orientation and understanding is that when you have early detection of growth of any abnormal growth in your body, ẹlòmíì á fi àdúrà tọ̀, ẹlòmíì á fi àgbo tọ̀, ẹlòmíì á fi ìkọ́bá ẹ̀tọ́. But there is best to go to the expert and get knowledge and counsel on this thing and take the right step at that right time. And everything is what? Close. Those are important of diet and lifestyle. Ní pé ọgbà àwọn kan báyìí kéékèèké. Mo dẹ̀ rí pé another sickness for old age is that rheumatoid arthritis. Nínú gbogbo àwọn àtàwọn níbí báyìí sí, mo lè bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ̀ pé 60% ó máa ní rheumatoid tí Yorùbá ń pè ní àwọ̀ká ara. And this àwọ̀ká is majorly rainy season and too much of exposed to cold, AC and sugary things. By the time you know that you have rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, rheumatism, you know that you avoid sugary things, you avoid cold environment, and you don't walk on your bare foot on a tiles. Kí ẹni tó ní òtútù lára kó máa fi ẹsẹ̀ rìn lórí tiles. Òtútù ẹ̀ máa yẹ kí ni ó máa wọ ara ẹ̀. Tó ìtúbà rẹ̀ ti wọ ara, ó máa jẹ́ kí ẹ̀jẹ̀ ara ṣe kí ni kó tutù. Tẹ́jẹ̀ ara wá yí tutù, á di pé ó affect circulation ara. Ó máa di pé irú ẹnìyẹn á máa ní pains. Òun ni nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí àwọn tó ń pè ní sickle cell anemia. Àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n ní àwọn àìsàn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tá à ń pè ní sickle cell tó yẹ pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ wọn lifespan ẹ̀jẹ̀ wọn kò wà bí àwa tí a normal lifespan ó wà shorter, meaning that people like that if they are exposed to cold irú ẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹn máa dì. 50 should be sleeping on mostly orthopedic foam. When you sleep on majorly orthopedic foam, it helps you to straighten your muscles and the nerves because ìgbà míì wà iṣan ara ó máa wíìkì ju egungun ara lọ. Ẹlòmíì dẹ̀ ní egungun ara á máa wíìkì ju iṣan ara lọ. Ó pín sí méjì, iṣan ara ó wà, egungun ara ó wà. Ní pé irú lifestyle yẹn àbí what we call hereditary disorder. Àwọn kan wà nínú family wọn, àwọn tó ní ẹ̀jẹ̀ ríru wà. In a family setting, some people have history of diabetes. In a family setting, people have hypertension, that is high blood pressure. Some have what we call chronic pain, that is hemorrhoid in their family. And some people have what we call chronic rheumatoid arthritis. By the time you know that your family background is diabetes, people like you should educate your children. What are causes of diabetes? What are the management of diabetes? What are stages diabetes can develop? What are the complications of diabetes? You're able to educate your children. You're able to educate your husband. Husband will educate his wife on that set of diabetes. In a family where you have high blood pressure, ẹ̀jẹ̀ ríru, what is the causes of high blood pressure? It's just accumulation of cholesterol, ọ̀rá inú ẹ̀jẹ̀. Tí ọ̀rá inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ bá ti pọ̀ jù, ó ń fa ẹ̀jẹ̀ ríru. Ṣé mo pé ọ̀nà sìn, this is a pathway, it's free. But by the time there are a blockage or obstruction on the road, ní pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ yẹn á máa lọ gba ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó yẹ kó lọ báyìí, á máa lọ báyìí. Diversion ìmọ̀ kí ni ó máa yàtọ̀, ó máa fa nǹkan tó ń pè ní enlargement of the heart. Òun ló ń fa heart attack or heart failure. Ó dàbí tí ẹ̀jẹ̀ bá ṣálẹ̀ rọ tó padà. And there's what we àwọn tó bá mọ̀ nípa high blood pressure check BP wọn, there's what we call systolic and diastolic. Nǹkan tó ń pè ní òkè àti ìsàlẹ̀. Òkè ni pé tí a ṣe kúrò ní ilé wa tá wá sí church, that is òkè nìyẹn, that is what we call systolic. The way the blood circulation move from the heart to the whole system is systolic. By the time the blood now walk away from the system, is going back to the heart, is what we call diastolic. Òun ló wà nísàlẹ̀. Ní pé tí gbogbo àwọn táwa ní church yìí sìn, tẹni ẹ fẹ́ tẹ̀lé mi lọ sílé, ṣé lèmi lè accommodate yín? Kò possible. Meaning that ilé mi yẹn máa ṣe kí ni? Ó máa fàyà. That's what they call systolic. Ní pé the return of blood circulation from the whole body system going back to the heart. You know, the body is bigger than the heart. And the whole blood in the body want to go inside the heart at the same time. It will not cause blockage or it will not cause collapse. That means it will collapse the heart. That's why we always have this heart attack or heart failure at any time, because by the time the pressure goes unexpectedly, boom, you know, the person, from there, for them to add that, to get back that oxygen or that breath out, because the place is blocked already. That's why it's advisable for us to know what are limitations in our lifestyle, especially weight gain, especially fatty food, and the third one is sound sleep. Please, let's encourage ourselves. If it is 3 hours sleep or 5 hours sleep, is very, very important and very, very key to our health, because the sleep serve as a refreshment to the body system. Ó dàbí ẹni tó ṣiṣẹ́ látàárọ̀ tó wá rest. Ó dàbí àwọn mọ́tò, àwọn dáàdi wa, because I always like to use car as an example for men, and I use kitchen for women, because it's that what we close more to it. You know, when we are talking about a commercial car and a private car, àwọn dáàdi wa èwo ló máa ètè gbójú? Commercial ni. That means if we use our system as a commercial car, that means you work from 5 a.m. From 5 a.m. island, you come back after 11, you eat by after 11 or 12, you sleep, you wake up again 4 a.m. island. By the time you do this job for 10 years, I can bet you, I've done my research, my findings, there's something about maybe attack or spiritual attack. If that person do that job for non-stop for 5 years or 10 years, it will develop enlargement of the heart and it will develop high blood pressure. I can bet you there's nothing like that, because the system is not resting. For a commercial car, mo ti bèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn rí, àwọn mọ́tò tó ń ná Èkó sí Abuja, they change their brake pad, it seems every 3 days. Ṣé àwọn dáàdi mi wà níbí báyìí? They change their brake pad every 3 days or 4 days sometimes. But a private car change their brake pad how many months? Daddy will madam below. 5 months. A private car will change a brake pad minimum of 3 months or 4 months or 5 months. But a commercial car that travel to Abuja and Lagos change their brake pad every 3 days. I've asked, I've done the findings. You understand? Meaning that when you now use yourself as a commercial car, you now use yourself as a private car, now you are now looking for miracle. Do you understand? Meaning that it's all about lifestyle and your diet. That's why when you see an elderly person looking still fresh, looking still smart, it's not a day job. It's a continuity. It's management. You have to manage it. Ilé tó ń yọ mi tó ń jò lókè àti ilé tó ń ṣe POPC. It's maintenance. The maintenance is what? It's different. That's why when it comes to this body, please, let's take care of it very well. And another thing I want to chip in again, that's always been my concern anytime I'm opportune to see mothers that is affecting us, is that, please, mothers, ẹ̀yin mama wa tẹ́ wà ń bí, màá bèrè question kan lọ́wọ́ yìí. Àwọn mothers tó bá wà ní age of 60 níbí báyìí, tó wà ní age of 70 níbí báyìí, at least mo sure pé most of them máa lọ́mọ tó wà bí 40 years. Mo parọ́ àbí mi parọ́? Ọmọ náà mo tó máa yàn bí 40, 45 or 30 something, àbí? Please, kí lẹ rò tó fà yẹn? It's because of what? You mothers marry early. Please, encourage our young ladies to marry early. Please. The crisis of infertility, fibroid, ovarian cysts is many. It's alarming. Please, ìgbà tí àwa fi wà kékeré, obìnrin bí ọmọ mẹ́jọ, ó ń bí ọmọ mẹ́sàn-án, ọmọ mẹ́wàá. But because of civilized world, even kọ́tí ẹ̀bí méjì is okay. But let them start early. Ẹ̀yin mothers wa, ẹ̀yin lẹ cause the major of this problem. I'm using a medical experience to just give you the feedback. Ẹ̀yin mothers wa, ọmọ wa máa lọ léèwé, ọmọ máa kọ́ṣẹ́, ọmọ máa lówó, Ọlọ́run ló ṣe kí nìyẹn, ló determine yẹn o. Ọmọ bíbí náà, Ọlọ́run náà ló determine yẹn. But when you start early, it's easier. Ó dàbí ẹni tó fẹ́ lọ sí Abuja níjọ́ Monday tó ti wá prepare ẹrù ẹ̀ láti Sunday. Àtẹ̀tẹ̀ tó fẹ́ lọ sí Abuja tó wá prepare ẹrù ẹ̀ ní àárọ̀ Monday. Ta ló máa tètè move? Now, ẹ̀yin mothers of that time now, ẹ̀yin tí ń jẹun ọmọ, ẹ ti lọ́mọ 40 something, tó ti ra mọ́tò fún yín, tó ti pa yín renovate ilé yín tó ti ṣe care fún yín. Now our girls of today now, their age of 30 something, they are still looking for work. They are still looking for this. And then you people, complete housewife, you are having opportunity to have 8 children, 9 children. Now you've pushed your daughter to be a career daughter. Now they are now after the career, after the money. Where is the happiness? Where is the happiness? We find out that most marriages now is from age 35, 34, 35. Now I was talking about premenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. How many years did I count it? I said 5 years. That is 15 years. Now a lady of 35 years plus 15 years. Kí ló máa fún wa? 55. Ṣé kò ti wọ menopause? Ó ti wọ̀. Miracle làwọn bẹ̀. But when you started early, you've now with your age, with your 15 years, you know that it's better you start early. You can do the two. Àwọn ìyàwó akọ́ntajà, ẹlòmíì kiri, ẹlòmíì ṣe kí ni wọ́n ń gbọ́mọ, wọ́n ń pọnmọ. You understand? They do all those things for us to have child. But now it's now very difficult. Now you now find out that Owulofa, every hospitals now, every woman is now having their baby through what? Through cesarean section, CS. Operation. And a woman that is having 9 children, 10 children. Church operation gba yẹn. Kí ló fà? Yes, because they started early. Obìnrin máa bímọ 9, àwọn kan tiẹ̀ bí 12 gan gbà kan. Láwọn àdúgbò kan máa pe àwọn ìyá 77, àwọn ìyá 88, àwọn ìyá 99. Wọ́n dẹ̀ máa bímọ natural with normal birth without no complications. Now a lady want to have a child. Our the complication, BP máa lọ sókè, ó ń dákú, danger, he's dying, he's doing this. Kò ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run nìyẹn o. Kò ń ṣe àmúwá Ọlọ́run. It's not from God. It's what we plan for. Meaning that when you take decision at the right time, you land at the right time. But when you start late, you land late. Do you understand? That's why, because it's the foundation of every home depends on you mothers. That means if the young ladies can start early, they can put the two together. That's why there is what we call multi-purpose task. You can be a mother, you can be a wife, at the same time, be a business. It doesn't disturb. You know, a mother will be by 6, 7. You still work, you still make money, and you still live a peaceful life. Then I wanted to live a peaceful life. And when you can stop on certain things. From there, what are the problem? Tell me IVF. Can anybody tell me how much is IVF? 2 million. Thank you, ma. Minimum is 2 million for IVF. And this is Baba Jebu. It's 50-50. In a year, some couples will do it 3 times, 5 times. That means 2 million times 5. That is 10 million. That means our salary that he has made the money, but he has putting the money back to waste. Owó tẹ push àwọn ọmọ ẹ kọlọ owó yẹn náà sìn wọ́n tún máa ń dápadà sínú kíni sínú waste. And a doctor will just take 2 million. Doctor Osholong agba sperm ìyá agba sperm agba egg the wife and take sperm of the man and put it together and be looking for God favor on the test. If God favor it, we now say, we thank God, it's successful. They'll put it back and be washing 1 month. Ó tún lè jábọ́ 2 million shekini, ó ti lọ. They'll plan for another 2 million. Plan for another 2 million. Before you know it, the menopause was setting. At the end of the day, kí wá ní opportunity of being in life? What is the gain of life? Those are things I'm trying to just analyze that ẹ̀yin mothers wa, please encourage our young ones, because with my experience, if care is not taken, you find out that there will be single mothers in the next 5 years. If you are not very, very careful, there will be single mothers everywhere, because the orientation they are having is to make money. They want to be happy, not knowing that the happiness and the money depends on what their foundation, what they will start with. Do you understand? Our health is very important. Please, anybody above 40 years, try to check your BP regularly. Try to check your sugar level regularly. Try to do your checkup at least annually. You do a general checkup annually for you to know that, and try to invest for your old age. Because most parents will be expecting their children to give them money, to give them drugs. Sometimes it may not work that way, and from there it causes early grave. Meaning that it's better you plan your old age yourself. With my experience now, me, mine, kini property méjì, kini ẹgbẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kalẹ̀ pé òun ti bá ti wọ 50 years, the property màá dẹ̀ lọ tà, màá dẹ̀ fowó yẹn sí bank, màá dẹ̀ máa yọ 100 to 200,000 every month, màá dẹ̀ máa ná fúnra mi. Ìjọ tí ikú máa dé. That's a peaceful life. But pé you invest house, ọmọ mi máa dé balẹ̀, ilé yẹn ó máa di old house. Ó dàbí aṣọ tí mo wọ̀ ń sìn, kí wọ́n á ní aṣọ yìí ọmọ mi máa wọ̀. The same thing goes to the house. Nísìnyí gbogbo everybody wọ́n fẹ́ lọ kọ́lé sí Lẹ́kí. As at 20 years, 30 years ago, ta ló lọ sí Lẹ́kí? Everybody was coming, Alimosho, kini kan Ìkẹjà, GRA. Now there's GRA Ìkẹjà as now the old version. They now move it to the new version, meaning that old age crisis is the worst age in life. It's the worst experience in life. You see an active person urinating, ẹni tó gbọ́n, a medical person, a máa tọ̀ sára, a máa yàgbẹ́ sára lójú kan, and nobody to take care of that person. That's the worst stage in our life. That's why it's better we prepare for our old age. We don't wait for anybody to care for us or to prepare for our old age. Thank you all. Thank you once again. If there's any questions, any observation, please. Okay, ma'am.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Good afternoon, everybody. My question goes thus. One, for women that are supposed to go, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
For women that are supposed to go for cervical cancer test, I noticed that in UK, every 6 months, they ask women to go for that test. But in Nigeria here, they do not refer you or ask you to do the test. Now, most women do not know where to do that test in Nigeria here. That is my number one question. I think I should stop at that. Okay. I rest my case.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Praise God. Well, you have deliberated much. I'm a medical colleague too. You have deliberated much on systolic and diastolic. And I want to ask a little quick question. There is a patient I'm handling. So it becomes a very traumatic issue to me. Traumatic issue in the sense that he was being placed, first observed, the systolic was 180 micrograms. And the diastolic was almost 110 micrograms. Then the pulse rate equally on the high side by 94 micrograms. Then later, it was evaluated and placed on Natrimax 10 milligrams SAT, running every 24 hours. But after a period of 1,000 to 2,000 hours, we recuperated and checked him and discovered that it was not going down. Then, after a while, the blood pressure was skipping. The systolic was still skipping. That's a variation of not being constant. Goes up today, come down today. Then I was about to compare to the patient by asking him, probably the valuation of diet can be offending factors. But if actually excess of sodium chloride and spices from food, it can also serve as aggravating factors. But after our interrogation or investigation, we discovered that nothing of such. Then I maintained that Natramax for some time. But because the Natramax is very expensive, and often at times some pharmacies say they don't have it, then we started to recuperate him and change her with amlodipine, 10 milligrams. And that amlodipine with 10 milligrams, she kept going on it. But after 2 weeks, we discovered that my sheathing comes up. this machete that comes up. Then she begin to cry. She begin to cry. Say, why did the weight coming down? Then we pause and say we can evaluate ZYX. ZYX was carried out and it was purely negative. Then I asked her, do you have any other history in the heart or like probably like bronchopneumonia? I said there was no history of bronchopneumonia. So, but now, what makes the systolic and diastolic pin on high side? It couldn't come down, even when it was constantly on amlodipine 10 milligram. What do we do on that effect?
Thank you. For the first question, mommy, thanks for that question. You see, the cervical screening, not even only cervical screening, when it comes to health awareness in this country, you see, the foundation and our orientation is different. In abroad, there's health insurance that has been placed and standard for every citizen. You understand? But here, there is nothing like health insurance approved by government or state governments. It's now left for us. It's like an example. Ó dàbí ọmọ olówó àtọmọ tálíkà. Come and compare ara wọn síra wọn. There's a rich daddy and a poor daddy. Now, Nigeria, you have to fight for yourself. And that's why an opportunity of where we are today is that, and that's why I was throwing it to mothers, that we should try to create awareness to what are important things for ourselves. You know, when you are averagely okay, you don't wait for a nurse or a doctor to tell you that, I wish to do my test every 6 months. Oh, woman, that is a sugar test me. That's why I said, do your blood pressure regularly. Do your sugar level regularly. Do your checkup regularly. If you do it and you are okay, you are fine. If you do it, if there's any challenges, you go and meet your doctors or you went to a private hospital. But now, for every age from 40 years, according to her, it's advisable to do a cervical screening. Mommy, why are we doing cervical screening? To prevent what? Cervical cancer. Because they know that if you detect it early, there's a solution to it. But if it is now spread, no solution. That's why for every age of 40, after you've already stored your childbearing age. Me, be momo, mama lo ṣe cervical screening, kele mo edwa ti le ní traces. Edwa to do it. Where are you going to do it? No, their laboratory, you can go to any primary center. It's just an examination. It's not a big deal. We can do it any health center.